Get your notepads out, let's go straight to the point. You guys, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to another Dave Talk. Recently, quite a bit of viewers have asked me, Dave, how do I actually improve my gameplay? Well, I think that was a really broad question to ask, but today I summarized some pointers that you guys can act on right away to improve your gameplay immediately, okay? We're talking about instant gratifications. So without further ado, the first thing that you need to do is self-improvement in practice mode. What do I mean? If you want to practice Ling, how to use ultimate, how not to miss a blade, you gotta get your fingers in place, okay? Get in practice mode, practice that ultimate, practice the dashes, practice the infinite combo that we mentioned in our videos, and until the point that you do not miss a single 4-dash combo. So use your ult, dash, 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 jump to the wall, jump back, and dash again. So until you don't miss that, you should always be practicing the self-improvement in practice mode. Any heroes that you're on a practice combo with, no matter it's an ult flicker, for example, it's Tigro ult flicker, for example, it's Dairos ult flicker, you can do Lolita ult flicker, and you can do all of those in practice mode, okay? So if you're not too lazy, open up your app, open up practice mode, and go in and go ham. That's why when you see me play most of the heroes on stream, you're like, Dave, why are you so comfortable with all those heroes? Why are you so comfortable with Yuzhong right away, even though this hero just came out in one day? Well, ladies and gentlemen, because I practiced this hero in practice mode, okay? I practice my combo over and over again until I do not miss my combo, I do not miss my passive, and then I take it to rank, and then I take it to stream to show you guys, and then I make a video about it. So there's a lot of things that I do in practice mode that people don't see. Obviously, if you really want to be a fanny player, go ahead and practice in practice mode. That's the best way because you can get infinite energy, and until you do not miss a turn, until you can go anywhere you want it with your cable, go ahead and take that into the rank. You know, a good magician never show off his skills until he cannot tell the trick himself. So once again, make sure to self-improve in practice mode. Number 2 is play solo queue. Yes, that might sound really, really harsh, and I understand solo queue can be a pain in your butt crack. I know it, I've been there and done that. You watch my live stream, you see me doing solo queue, especially in North America server where there's so limited amount of good players. When you play solo queue, I got matched with 3 epics on my team, 4 epics on my team, Legend 5, just same as epics. Meanwhile, enemy team, they got 3 mythical glories because they got a trio, and I don't really know those players, so I just get destroyed in solo queue by the matchmaking system. Absolutely, I understand solo queue can be a pain, but also the benefits of solo queue are tremendous. When you play solo queue, you do not have a support, you do not have a tank. You really have to learn when to go in, when to get out, right? When you have absolutely no resources on the map, how do you squeeze out farm, right? How do you find a little bit here and there? When you have no vision because you have no tank and support, you know, how to walk safely, how not to get ganked or flanked. All those stuff can be practiced in solo queue, where if you play with a friend, you tend to blame a lot of things on your friend. And if your friends are really good, he or she turn out to carry you most of the times, right? If they are a really good tank player, they get vision and you take a lot of things for granted. All of a sudden you go play with random people and they don't get vision control. They don't know how to do it properly. You just get destroyed. So by giving yourself the difficult situation, the most disadvantageous situation, really helps you out, right? Let's say if you're playing a fight or a side lane, and you're playing solo queue, then you really gotta look at the minimap all the time to see where the enemies are, to predict where they are. In our channel, it's all about 3 words: anticipate, strategize, and dominate, okay? You gotta anticipate where enemies are, and then strategize your next move, and then execute on it and dominate your opponent. So you can practice those in solo queue, guys. I can't find a better environment than solo queue to practice looking at a minimap. You gotta force yourself look at a minimap all the time. If you're playing a tank, in solo queue, right? How to work with your carry players. Obviously, you're not in communication with them. They might be really shitty, but it doesn't deter you from practicing your initiation. Now, what do I mean by that? If you watched our What Pro Never Tell You series, and you have not, I urge you to do that right after this video, but you have checked out like how to engage properly, when to engage properly. And a lot of those times, it'll be much better for you as a gaming experience wise speaking to practice those initiation with your friends. But if there's no friends, you really gotta look at a carry and just anticipate and predict, what is this random carry gonna do next, right? Is he gonna follow me up, right? Is he next to me? Can I engage now? Those help you out a lot because you practice the invisible string that I was talking about, to practice your relative distance between you and your carry player. And a good thing about playing solo queue is since you're not going to talk to anyone, it's a good practice on your patience. You learn how to calm down. Since you have no one to talk to, you have no one to complain about, like I said, trash talking your teammates doesn't really help. So the more solo queue you play, the more patience you tend to have, right? You start realizing, oh, if I shit talk this person, it doesn't really help me with my gameplay. So instead, let me just stay quiet and focus on the game. And a lot of times that turned out to be an epic comeback opportunity that's right around the corner. So yes, absolutely play solo queue. It will help you out a lot. Number 3 is test the limit. When a new hero comes out, don't be afraid of taking this hero immediately and take it to classic, take it to rank especially, and then play the hero aggressively, right? For example, when Kali first came out, including me, a lot of heroes think this hero was absolutely garbage because it's really, really easy to crowd control him and make him completely irrelevant in a team fight. And that still remained to be true at this point. But in a 5-man setting, Kali's early game damage is absolutely insane, right? No fighters out-damage Kali at level 1 thanks to the skill 1, right? Skill 1 does insane amount of damage, increased by 20% every time he spins. And the more you play this hero, the more matchup you go against. For example, you take it to go against Thamus, you take it to go against Jawhand, you take it to go against different fighters, and you realize how strong you are at level 1, how strong you are at level 2. And then the more you play him, the more you test the limit. You use the ultimate initiate, you use the ultimate to follow up. You start summarizing the rhythms, right? Like how I can play this hero better. That's why it's very important to take a hero and play aggressive. Don't worry about feeding. I'm just saying play him aggressive until you find the fine line, the fine boundary where you need to play a little bit more reserved. And then you can really know the power limit of certain heroes. And certain heroes may not be as strong, but all of a sudden, because you test the limit, you constantly try the hero to the most aggressive, most dangerous situations, you can play the hero differently than any other players. Not because you know the mechanic better, but rather you know the matchups. You know when you can go in, when you can come out, because you constantly test the hero to its absolute limit. So I recommend you do not be afraid. It's just a game. Let the people trash talk. Go ahead and test the hero to the limit, play aggressive, see what you can do. You will find out a lot more that you did not know before. Number 4 tips to improve your gameplay is practice micro movement. What does it mean? When you're chasing a hero, whether you're playing a marksman, whether you're playing assassin or a fighter, a lot of time it requires you to stick to the enemy like glue. Okay, it doesn't matter where they go. If you want to kite them properly, you really got to gauge your distance to dish out the most amount of damage possible. The most players that I see in ranked, they just do large movement, right? They move from left to right in a drastic manner, and then when they want to come back, it's too late. Enemy already run away. So it's really important for you to practice micro movement. How do you do that? You go into practice mode, and you just wiggle your movement fingers. Doesn't matter, it's your thumb, it's your index finger. Doesn't matter if you're playing on a tablet or a phone. It's very easy. Just constantly wiggle left and right, wiggle left and right, wiggle left and right, your movement until you get used to this movement. This is extremely helpful. For example, if you're playing a hero like Chang'e and they try to land your ultimate, if you consistently wiggle from left to right, right to left, you will confuse your opponent. Because if you do large movement with Chang'e, people will easily just walk to the opposite direction and dodge your ultimate. However, if you start wiggling left and right, what will happen is the enemy doesn't really know because they're going left and they see you going left, they start going right, but you're going right immediately because you're practicing micro movement. The same applies for Esmeralda. If you're chasing opponents, Esmeralda, because it's close combat fighter, it's really important for you to just constantly wiggle your movement to dodge key crowd control skills, but stay close enough where you get your shield, stay close enough where you're constantly doing damage. So it's very important for you to practice those, and this will help your gameplay tremendously. Now, I know I already mentioned this when we're talking about playing solo queue, but the next point I want to emphasize is practice looking at minimap. Okay, you gotta force yourself to look at a minimap. Doesn't matter which role you play. The minimap gives you most information in the game. If you only rely on the center of your screen, you're missing out a lot of information on the map. And I can't stress this enough. A lot of people say, Dave, I already looked at a minimap. Well, the chances are you are not looking at a minimap enough. That's why you're dying. That's why you're getting flanked. As a silent fighter, 50% of your time need to be spent on a minimap. As a tank, 75% of your time need to be spent on the minimap, because the tank usually stay in the bush, they don't really move, they're looking for the next initiation, and at that time, what you need to do is look at a minimap and anticipate where enemies are, right? Who can you see that's on the map, who can you see that's off the map, and what are they possibly doing? And based off this information, you can then make decisions on rotation, and that will give you a lot better gaming experience. All of a sudden, you have a plan and your team has a plan as well. And next thing that I want to talk about is practice hero lock. Hero lock is so important in this game, okay? A lot of heroes, for example, Karina, like Harith, when you're dashing into the enemy crowd, it's very important for you to lock down, single out the hero that you want to kill first. Now, with that being said, make sure you go to the control setting and have hero lock turned on. If you don't know how to do that, go check out our control setting video in What Pro Never Tell You series, and it will help you out a lot. But I want everyone to consciously think about hero lock before you engage, before you jump into every team fight. Think about which hero that you're gonna lock down, you're gonna focus on first, right? Before you go in and execute your tremendous 1 versus 5 gameplay. Make sure you target and single out the hero that you want to terminate first. And with that being said, consciously practice hero lock. It will help you out tremendously. This will make your gameplay a lot more precise and a lot more accurate, and you will be called a god, I promise. Now, the next 2 points, I want to just kind of talk to the tank players out there. First, if you're playing with a team of friends, practice shot calling, okay? Practice consciously calling out information. For example, your team is pushing out bottom tower, you're sitting at a tri-bush looking for the enemy flank or gank, whatever, and you saw 2 people coming. It's very important for you to call out to your team, hey, I'm engaging. Hey, are you guys ready to follow up? Right? I'm engaging on this person. In a competitive setting, what we used to do is if I'm trying to engage on enemy Layla, I will say Layla, 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 Layla. I will repeat the name of this person, and then my team will recognize, oh, let's go on Layla first. Okay, it's very important because in a competitive setting, in a very intense environment, it's really hard for people to listen to your word if you only say it once. So practice shot calling and then get your team on the same line. Another thing I want to talk to the tank players is make sure you practice your patience. Stay in the bush, don't show yourself, because if you don't show yourself, you're not giving the enemy team information. Doing this not only allows you to surprise your enemy when you initiate, most importantly, it also allows you to think and stay calm, right? Look at a mini-map once again and strategize, and then you dominate, okay? It's very, very important to practice patience. Stay in the bush. You don't have to do anything. Don't start auto-attacking the minion. Don't start jumping in and auto-attack the jungle creeps with your carries. Stay in the bush. Look at a mini-map. Think. Stay patient. Stay calm. And then you execute. That's all the tips and tricks I can give to you guys today. Hope it helps. If you like it, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn that bell on to all notification bells. With that, Assassin Dave signing off, and I will see you guys next time. Bye now.
Just for the thrill of it, nothing counterfeit with you, just the thrill of it.